Here is a fascinating wreck of an antique map that is in just the most atrocious condition imaginable, to the point where we're going to make a video of it to show what the extent that someone will go to in the past to keep a map intact. I have to say that in 35 years of doing this, I cannot recall perhaps more than a tiny handful of maps that display thread stitching like this to sew them back together. The map has damp staining across the bottom. What's though interesting is, on close examination, if we really start to look, we'll notice that most of the paper that appears to be lacking on these splits is present on each segment. And so if a person desired to put some time and energy into restoring this map, the first thing you would do is remove the string or thread, and then you'd bend back and coax back, perhaps by gently wetting it, and then lining these fold lines with archival rice paper of some sort, handmade paper of one type or other. And this map could probably be brought back, given a bath, and get rid of a lot of this staining. This map, with effort, could be made to look beautiful. But we're going to offer it like this just because it's an utterly fascinating example of American cartography of the 18th century and what someone has done. Now, it's by Denison, and S.H. Sculpt is the engraver. So I was curious in attempting to figure out who that engraver was. The first thing I did was I looked in this standard reference book here, Wheat and Brune, Maps and Charts, published in the United States prior to 1800, to see if the engraver is identified by Wheat and Brune. It's number 218 over here, and he did not actually engrave and name the engraver of the map, but he did point out, and something I should mention also on this map is underneath, over the title, under the distance scale rather, is this proposed, the surveys of the eastern counties could not be obtained seasonably to complete this map, but there's a misspelling within that phrase. So he does not name the engraver. So what I did was I went to volume 1 of this standard reference book, American Engravers Upon Copper and Steel. It's a standard work. It's by Stauffer. And I just started looking through the H's because almost certainly that's an American engraver at this date, in this location, and that publisher was using American engravers. And it isn't very hard to narrow it down. There's only a handful. The only S.H. that's an engraver of cartography that's noted by Stauffer is this Samuel Hill, and indeed he is in Boston. And so, and right here, he's advertising in 1794. And so I think we can conclude that the engraver of this map is Samuel Hill. And so, as you see it, a restoration project or an example of homemade repairs or what have you, it's available now online from me, Brian DeMambro.